All right, aloha, and welcome back, all of you free radicals. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Dave, and this is The Radical Independent. This popped up in my email. I have decided to subscribe and get updates from the Green Party and Howie Hawkins. Howie Hawkins is running for the Green Party nomination. And he is a guy who's a very working-class Joe. He used to offload trucks, I believe, for UPS not that long ago. He's got a very interesting resume, and he's worth checking out. So long as he stays away from Russiagate and some of the nonsense that was associated with that, I'm willing to give him a listen. One of his speeches, he started talking about that, and I really wanted to just tune him out and click out of it, and I think I did, but then I came back and watched another speech that he gave, and I was fairly impressed with the guy. Look, folks, if and when the dust settles and Bernie is out and Tulsi is out, and there's a good possibility that will happen, some polls have Joe Biden at like 39% support. Where I live in Florida, it's Biden in double digits, way ahead of anybody else. I think Bernie might be second to Biden. It's not even close, though, quite honestly. But this popped into my email, and it's from essentially the desk of the great Mike Gravel. And I know there are surrogates that run his campaign. People basically say there are kids running his campaign, but in any event, it says, "Dear friends, at last week's Presidential Climate Forum, we saw the good, the bad, and the ugly of where the Democratic Party is heading on climate change. There were commitments from candidates to take drastic action on the crisis that confronts humanity, and commitments from candidates to take only the most perfunctory and ultimately useless sort of action." This is fairly well written, so these quote-unquote kids at least know what they're writing about. The path of the Democratic Party on climate change still isn't settled. One place it is settled, however, is within the Green Party. See, it's settled within the Green Party, as is the idea of endless, perpetual war. All right, so that's why I'm doing this little video here. Because rather than have a debate about whether we ought to do something or not, which is an entirely time-consuming entity, which, again, we spend time arguing and we never get to the actual problem. One candidate who's got a robust plan to confront it is Howie Hawkins, who should be included in all climate forums going forward. Absolutely. 100%. Howie Hawkins is a retired Teamster. He spent the better part of the last 2 decades unloading trucks for UPS, and now he's running for the presidency under the Green Party ticket. Wow. And does it say anywhere that he's a Russian? He must be a Russian. I didn't say that, but, he's not from some ivory tower think tank. Way back in 2010, he ran for governor of New York on a Green New Deal, and he hasn't wavered. So you can kind of thank this guy for the Green New Deal. If you want jobs, this guy has got a jobs plan for everybody. His vision for the party and his 2020 run is clear. Get the party up, running, and organized, bring a radical vision to the table, put a Green New Deal factory in every congressional district. See how that works? You put a Green New Deal factory in every congressional district rather than a military hardware building facility. Works for me. I don't think we should be building the economy on the backs of the military-industrial complex, but that's just me. Anyway, so that's why one of the reasons I wanted to do this video, because you're not supposed to talk about this stuff on the internet. It says, like our campaign, Hawkins wants to do a lot with little. We need that in a country where, like in South Dakota, the Democratic Party completely abandons entire states to the increasingly reactionary Republican Party. So this is interesting here. That's why we're asking you to contribute to Howie's campaign to help the Green Party qualify for federal matching funds as soon as possible. The money will go towards ballot access initiatives, collecting signatures, and building a progressive infrastructure where none today really exists. We need a transition as fast as we can, and we need to pursue that transition through all avenues we can. Thanks as always for your support in building a better world free from war and deprivation. And then there's a link to donate, and you can join Howie's email list here as well. And it says, Gravel 2020, all rights reserved. And so is this big news? Yeah, I put it out there, and Primo Nutmeg over on Twitter said, well, wait a minute, we're not sure how he's connected with this, and are his surrogates. And he did give a really sort of fuzzy endorsement of both Tulsi Gabbard and Bernie Sanders. And when I mean fuzzy, I mean you kind of have to endorse one or the other. I mean, I guess you can endorse both and say, well, they're both good. You pick the one that you like the most. That's fine, but this here seems to be a pretty good, solid endorsement saying, hey, the Democrats, they can't figure this one out. But the Greens, they already know. And what I like about Hawkins is he's a working class stiff. And I say that with all, I'm praising that. He's just a working class Joe who's now running for the president, who has the mindset of a blue-collar worker, who this is the kind of thing the Green Party needs. The Green Party does not need a celebrity. They don't need somebody on the fringe. They need somebody who has worked for their money and who understands that, understands struggles that the working class faces. So I wanted to put this out there. I know it's not going to be a well-watched video. Most of my time on here has been spent cheering on Tulsi Gabbard, and folks, we need to start to think forward. If that doesn't work out, we need to have a Howie Hawkins or somebody out there who can represent us, and it's going to be a hard road. And some people will say, well, this will just be a spoiler candidate. Guess what? I totally disagree with that, because you've got corporate Democrats who will only vote for corporate Democrats. We've got corporate Republicans who will vote for Trump now because they realize, hey, he's not hurting my 401k. There's nobody out there who is representing the working class anymore. You may think this is all too radical. He's talking about something called eco-socialism. If you look and see what it is, it's basically saying, hey, we put a Green New Deal factory in every congressional district. We're going to need people to work in those factories to retool our entire economy. And we can do that. We're doing it now with the military, right? We're doing a military-based version of this pretty much in every congressional district. So this is a counter to that. And I know for a fact that he wants to cut the military budget in half. And, oh, please, don't start with, oh, we're not going to be safe anymore if we do that. That's BS. That's BS. We'll still have more than enough money to defend our borders and our country if we need to do that. So in any event, go Howie. That's all I got to say is go Howie. See you soon.